This is a stimulus check update and news report for Friday, August 14th. So many different sources now are saying stimulus talks could drag into September, according to Fox News. According to CNN, congressional action on new relief package likely to wait until September. I'll go over into why this is happening and give you the latest updates. Some people are wondering if stimulus checks are being held up because President Trump doesn't want any money going to the US Postal Service. COVID cases are back on the rise and Russia reaches out to the US to collaborate on a vaccine. I'll let you know what the US said. There's also a country who agreed to taking Russia's vaccine. I'll let you know which country that is as well. First, let's talk about what you care about the most: stimulus package and stimulus checks. Are we getting a second stimulus check? I want to keep it real with you. We are not getting a second stimulus check anytime soon. I don't want to abuse your trust and give you false hope, but that is the fact at the moment. Between Republicans and Democrats, we are still at a stalemate and there is no sense of urgency to get anything done. Yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, negotiator for the Democrats, was asked if she thought when she would speak with the Republicans again. She said, "I don't know when they come in with $2 trillion. So Democrats started at $3 trillion, Republicans at $1 trillion. Now the Democrats came down to $2 trillion. Republicans don't want to meet them at $2 trillion. That's what's going on at the moment. Even though they agree on the majority of issues, including second stimulus checks, Republicans are saying, let's pass something now and then we could negotiate the other things later so we could help out the American people. Steve Mnuchin said, "My view on negotiations is you agree on the things that you can agree on, half legislation that's good for the American public, and then come back for another bill." Let me know what you think about this. Should they just pass something now just to help the American people, or should we wait until $2 trillion is met and then get a lot more things in the package? And it's because of this stalemate that we will not see any deal reached anytime soon. Even if a deal was reached today, we're in mid-August, and everything was signed today, we wouldn't even get the stimulus checks most likely until September. And since the fate of the stimulus package and stimulus checks are just between the four negotiators for the Republicans and Democrats, Congress is completely out of office. They went back to their home states and they are officially on vacation until the second week of September. And rather than focus their time and energy on trying to pass another stimulus package or give stimulus checks to the American people, they are probably going to focus on re-election. Re-election is just a few months away and they have this entire month to focus on the re-election campaign because, in my opinion, every politician is just focused on three things: more power, to seek higher office, and re-election. Since it is re-election time, they're not going to go out on a limb and try to say we need to do the right thing and get stimulus checks done, because as the saying goes, any nail that stands up gets hammered down. So people, or the politicians, are more focused on their career of being a career politician and get re-elected rather than do the right thing and give aid to the people. Let me know if you agree with what I said about politicians down in the comments below, or am I just being too cynical about politicians? So far, we haven't gotten much help from Congress, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Here's the latest update with unemployment insurance. So there are around 28 million Americans collecting unemployment benefits from just their state because the federal money ran out. President Trump did an executive order that's going to give a guaranteed $300 a week from the federal government, and the states are not required. It's an option to provide an additional $100 to make it $400. Many states are saying that they don't have the money, so most likely it's going to be a $300 a week benefit. The big question is, when will the potential 28 million Americans get their unemployment insurance? It's probably going to be a few weeks. Steve Mnuchin said it could be a week or two. Many experts are saying it could be up to a month. The reason why is because the states need to create an entirely new system because the funding is coming from a different source. Therefore, states are saying that it could take a few weeks up to a month before those benefits could start to kick in. Some people are saying that President Trump is holding up the second stimulus check because he does not want any more money going to the US Postal Service. Basically, what's happening is, in the Democratic stimulus proposal, Democrats are proposing $25 billion going to the US Postal Service. The Republicans said zero initially, then the Democrats supposedly went down to $10 billion. President Trump is saying they need that money in order to have post office work so it could take all of these millions and millions of ballots. But if they don't get those two items, that means you can't have universal mail-in voting because they're not equipped to have it. If we don't make a deal, that means they don't get the money. That means they can't have universal mail-in voting. They just can't have it. sort of crazy thing, very interesting. So President Trump is saying that he doesn't want the deal to happen because he doesn't want money to go into the US Postal Service. President Trump has already expressed concern that more money going to the US Postal Service will mean that people could do mail-in voting for the election coming up. President Trump is concerned about fraud happening with mail-in voting. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Will mail-in voting cause more fraud for the upcoming election or not? Do you think money should go to the US Postal Service, or should we just cut that out altogether? Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. So Larry Kudlow yesterday in an interview as well said, so much of the Democratic asks are really liberal left wish list, voting rights and aid to aliens and so forth. Then he says that's not our game and the president can't accept that kind of deal. So we'll wait and see on the negotiations. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is working on that, but so far it's a stalemate. So he's referring to the stimulus package negotiations and saying that they don't want any money going to the US Postal Service. So at the moment, it seems like there is no sense of urgency to get anything done with the next stimulus package compared to the first stimulus package, which happened in March. They got that done right away. But at this moment, nothing is moving it along forward, but there are two things that can. But first, if you appreciate the time, energy, and research that went into making this video and like the fact that I gave you the stimulus news up front, hit the like button down below so that YouTube will share this video with more people. The two things that would create a sense of urgency that would make the stimulus package come out sooner is one being the stock market crash. So when it happened in March, stock market crashed, everyone got concerned. They said, we need to get money out to the people immediately. The second thing is the unemployment claims. So unemployment claims have dropped below 1 million claims in a week, first time since March. So if we look at the chart here, you could see that it was really high, the peak of all the craziness during the pandemic, and then slowly it's gone down, and now we're at the lowest point. Now we're at around 10% unemployment. Now this is good and bad news. Good news because many millions of Americans are getting their jobs back, which means the economy can improve. The bad news is that all of the struggling Americans, barely able to pay for rent, food, on the brink of eviction, that group of Americans unfortunately is not going to get aid now, because now the politicians are going to focus on the good news, such as the unemployment numbers and things like that, and the stock market, saying, oh, things are getting better, therefore people don't need help, completely neglecting the millions of Americans who need help the most. Now, in terms of COVID cases, according to the CDC, we had a really low day a couple of days ago. It was down to 40,000. And yesterday it was back up to 56,000. My wife is a nurse, and at her hospital, I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, by the way, considered a big hot spot. At her hospital, they are almost at the point where it is too many cases to handle. A lot of the ventilators are being used by COVID patients. So at her hospital, it's getting crazy. The US is still nowhere near close to approving and sending out a vaccine for COVID, but Russia is. And Russia just reached out to the US asking if they wanted to collaborate on the vaccine, and the US respectfully said no. So President Vladimir Putin gave their vaccine to his daughter, and he said everything was okay. But back in April, Russia enacted a law saying that they did not need to do phase 3 testing in order for a vaccine to be approved. Phase 3 testing is how they figure out what the side effects are of any vaccine. So now Russia is offering this vaccine to its people in Russia, and they want to sell it to a lot of other countries as well. And there's already one country who wants to do it. I'll get into that in a minute. Yesterday, a Russian official told CNN, there is a general sense of mistrust of Russia on the American side, and we believe that technologies including vaccine, testing, and treatments are not being adopted in the US because of mistrust. Then someone from the US government said there have been no trials of this vaccine. They've done too little work on humans to decide if it works on a larger scale. We're talking totally inadequate safety data. This is according to the US, who has phase 3 trials on all vaccines that are required in order for this vaccine to go out to the larger public. But still, a lot of people are skeptical. In my last video, I asked my subscribers if you would take a Russian vaccine if it was a matter of life and death. And Evelyn Vaughn says, no, I would not take a vaccine that Russia has anything to do with. And then Kathy Goodwin says, will not take any vaccine without proper testing, and definitely not if it includes a microchip. But there is one country that will take this vaccine, and it is Vietnam. So Vietnam is actually willing to buy the Russian vaccine. Vietnam signed up for 50 million to 150 million doses of the vaccine, and Russia is reporting saying that the vaccine could come out in the next few weeks, or within 2 weeks. That's all the news I have for you today. If you want a free money opportunity, you can sign up through Webull and get 2 free stocks. You could sign up through Robinhood and get a 3rd free stock, and when you sign up, you could keep these stocks or just sell it and cash out the money and put it in your bank account. And I know times are hard right now, money is tight, which is the reason why I created a second YouTube channel called Wise Sense, which teaches wise money tips to build a wealthy future. So on that channel, I go over how to earn money, how to make money from home just using internet, some side hustle ideas, how to manage money, the best budget templates you could do that you could start implementing today, and how to invest money, simple, safe investments that you don't need to worry about or have a lot of knowledge about. I go through all those things on my channel, but probably one of the most important things are money habits. So there's 7 money habits that people continuously make on a regular basis that keeps them poor, and it's one of the things that I really wish school systems would teach. So I go over that in this video over here, 7 poor money habits that most people have and how to correct those money habits. You could click that video now on my second channel, Wise Sense, or if you want more second stimulus check updates, you could click this playlist down over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.